Hello, folks. Richard Moore, USAGSA. And I've got Lorraine Valente with me, Jackson County, Kentucky. And we have done a couple of installments with Lorraine, and that we have a playlist that reflects that. So if you're not in the know, I encourage you to get in the know. Before I jump into it, and Lorraine is a targeted individual. And what I mean by targeted, she is relentlessly harassed, stalked, and every imaginable thing that you can imagine that you could do to a human being, short of killing them, is being done to her in real time. She's not a criminal. She's not in a criminal enterprise. Didn't have a criminal past. She's done nothing to excuse this type of behavior. Who's doing it? I'll tell you who's doing it. This is a program by the Department of Justice, the COPS program, as well as the National Sheriff's Association Neighborhood Watch. And their holistic approach to policing, that's everyone doing their part, retailers, private citizens, and elected officials, law enforcement. Law enforcement in your community, in your city, the chief of police, in your county, the sheriff. They run the program. And it all falls on their shoulders. You'll hear me refer to them as criminals with badges, and they're nothing short of criminals with badges. Lying, oath-breaking criminals with badges.
Yes. In
the description of this video, I'll have my link tree. If you click that link tree, you will see the various platforms that we're on. Not all of them. Our blogs, my blog, and I do write a lot about victims and stories that are related to what we're doing here at USAGSA, as well as a breakdown of the tactics and so forth that this program uses. And so if you're unfamiliar with it, I would encourage you to go to our Substack or WordPress and read some of those articles. They're truly an eye-opener. Also, this is very important that you subscribe and you share our content and share it relentlessly. We're 100% supported by our listeners, viewers, and followers. And those avenues which you can donate and support USAGSA are within that link tree, including becoming a Patreon. By becoming a Patreon, that's at USAGSA, you will get all our data, everything that I put out there, written and video, all that stuff. And sometimes you'll get stuff that's the only place you're going to get it. By taking a stand with USAGSA, what you're doing is you're helping us expose this corruption nationwide. And we name names and where they work and what they're doing. And we'll show you videos and pictures and everything else. We expose this corruption at all levels. We also give voice to the victims. And that's what we're doing with Lorraine and, of course, myself as well. So, Lorraine, we did an interview a week ago, just a little week ago. And you're in Jackson County. And we talked about this sheriff. What's his name again?
Daniel Isaacs.
Daniel Isaacs. And that it's his deal there in Eastern Kentucky. We also talked about these pathetic, deplorable creeps, the Marks couple. And and Lorraine's going to talk a little bit about those people. She never met these folks. She bought a big piece of land out there, got a farm and animals and all that stuff. And these people have absolutely been relentless, dumping trash on her property and you name it. Especially this happened after last week.
Yes.
This is how these pathetic deplorables working for the sheriff.
Yes.
This is what they do. They routinely and systematically violate other American citizens' constitutional protected rights. But because of this program, And because of the Patriot Act, they believe they have found a loophole, and they can target anyone that is deemed a threat, whatever threat that may be.
Yes.
And Lorraine is a threat to people that are obese, morbidly obese. They don't like that. And she's healthy and physically fit, and these 350-pound Watusis can't stand that. So that's where it begins. So it doesn't take much, folks. It's a low bar for these pathetic morons that would have you believe that they're doing things to have a safer community. Bull crap. You've got a totalitarian dictatorship in plain sight. You don't even know it.
Yes.
These fools are telling you that, well, you don't know everything. We're doing that. What's that? Blah, 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 blah. Lip service.
Yes.
Denial. The sheriff will deny everything I'm telling you right now. That's why I'm telling you he is an unmitigated liar.
Yes.
He is an oath-breaking criminal with a badge. Yes. And we're going to keep publicizing this about this sheriff, these morons in Jackson County, and the morons and pathetic criminals with badges across this country. So if you've got a story and intel, whatever you got, contact me. Be glad to hear from you. Lorraine, tell us what's going on.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me back.
Oh, I'm glad to have you here.
I want to give you an update from the last time we had this chat. So anyway, I just want to tell you, subscribers, if they're listening to this for the first time, my targeting started in Manalapan, New Jersey.
And Lorraine's got a channel, Alternative Homesteading, and I'll have that in the description as well. Go ahead, Lorraine.
Yes, it's Alternative Homesteading. I started the channel to document what was happening to me here, mostly in Kentucky, but also to provide evidence of what was happening to me when I lived at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey. Now, when I moved to rural Kentucky here, I moved here knowing no one. I didn't know anybody. I purchased this farm. It needed a lot of work. I was actually living in my car for 6 weeks.
Oh, my gosh.
And the harassment started literally from the time I got here. The theft of 4 cats, Scarlet running over one of my cats on the county road. But I before I jump around, I just want to explain to people that this
Scarlet Marks is who she's talking about. Scarlet and
Eddie Marks.
And Eddie Marks, and these are two folks. And you look at their social media; they'll have kitsy stuff with a pumpkin patch and the church and this kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. These weirdo creeps are posing as born again Christians, godly people doing normal things.
Yes.
And they go to a fake church. If we have got a country full of phonies, and this is a textbook example.
Absolute hypocrites. I mean, almost everybody I've met here so far is a hypocrite. Now, I can't say the same thing about the people in New Jersey. I mean, a lot of the people in New Jersey, in order to be able to afford $500,000, $750,000 house, you have to have some kind of an educational level and career, right?
Right.
Well, the level of income here is significantly lower, and I'm not, this is not about that, but it just tells you about the kinds of people that live here and how easy it would be.
It's easier to manipulate them too.
That's the point.
They'll fall for anything. They won't stand for nothing, but will fall for anything.
Easier to manipulate them, buy them.
Exactly.
They don't know me. There was absolutely no reason for them to start harassing a stranger.
No. Right.
They didn't know anything about me, and they concocted a narrative. And when I say about the narrative, and people need to understand that when you're placed in the program, you're nominated. You get on a watch list. It's the FBI watch list. They've got multiple watch lists. Some of them are secret watch lists. Yeah. Okay.
Ours is secret. It's not secret to the ass clowns out here on wheels. In the holistic community that's participating in this. But even, Lorraine, the ones that are not in the circle of going out here and targeting on a daily basis and pulling all kinds of crap, stupid stuff.
Yes.
And this all was born out of Operation Chaos. and to confuse them, to get you, and you know, it's and we could go on and on about that, but those that are not in it, but are within the community, they will approach them, Lorraine, and say, look, I know you've been going over there and cutting this lady's grass. Let me tell you about her. And they'll sour them because they're watching her, listening, everything she does 24/7.
Yes.
And so if the first person that's inserted into her ecosystem, they will spoil it. They will prostitute it.
Yes.
And do everything they can. And if the people don't jihad to what they want them to do, then they start applying pressure on them. Well, you're going to keep messing around with her.
That's okay.
Helping her, you're going to end up having problems yourself.
Well, that's the thing. That's the reason why I want to do these interviews and provide the evidence of what what's doing. Because if we keep quiet, they're going to continue doing it. It's sort of like, I don't negotiate with bullies. And Scarlett happens to be... I
don't negotiate with terrorists, and that's what
Scarlett
they are.
Happens to be a nurse.
Oh, God.
Exactly. She has to be a nurse. And Eddie works for the local energy company, and he's a logger. So, you know, he knows how to kill a tree. Yeah. And a lot of my trees are being spiked and poisoned.
Really?
So, yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. So there are not a lot of people that know exactly how to do that to kill a tree, except the logger, right? But anyway, I digress. I just want to tell everybody that this program that you're nominated into by psychopaths, narcissists, people who you piss off, it could be generational, it could be for kicks and giggles, it could be from a celebrity narcissist, your divorce lawyer, it could be from any of the above, or just being in the wrong place at the wrong
class envy. You cut them off at the intersection. Folks, it didn't take, it absolutely does not take much.
No, it's
targeted, and I've said this for Lorraine, I've been targeted. My targeting has always been in place. It's a generational thing due to my family history and the work of my cousin and civil rights photographer, Charles Lee Moore. They continued and ramped their deal up, and then when they honed this program, especially after the Patriot Act, they managed to plant false evidence, plant things, and get a conviction, and now they're off the races. He's a convicted felon. He did this, blah, 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 blah. They never hear the part about wrongfully convicted. They never hear about a staged and constructed complete crime that was never substantiated. They don't care about that. All they care about is something that they can do to continue to destroy the messenger.
Yes.
They don't hear the message, just like right now. These clowns will be listening. They don't want to hear the message. They want to try to do everything they can to discredit the messenger. But Lorraine, let me tell you something. The good news is it ain't working.
Because I'm going to expose them every
Amen, sister. I'm going to do this.
So I wanted to say that when I moved here, I knew nobody, but the harassment started immediately. Okay. And after our last interview, they really amped it up. Scarlett was driving back and forth 4 times while I'm raking leaves and cleaning. I
saw a video screaming coward and all that.
Well, she called me a heifer.
Heifer, yeah. Oh God.
And she called me a coward. Like she's always trying to instigate me to come and fight her.
Yeah.
I mean, this woman is such a loser. And just to tell your audience, I it sounds weird and stuff, but I am literally a senior citizen. I'm in my mid-60s.
I don't believe it.
And you're going to try to harass me and stalk me and discredit me at this stage of my life. It's not going to happen.
They target people, disabled people, veterans.
Absolutely.
But they have, these people are godless pathetics.
Absolutely. They're total hypocrites. Okay. Liars and hypocrites. She has been spewing for years that the sheriff now, who was the deputy, is her son-in-law. Well, miracles do happen. On my channel, a subscriber responded to the video and she says, Scarlett is a liar.
Of course she is.
We don't want to associate with her. We want nothing to do with her. But she keeps bringing other people into her nonsense. And she says, Daniel Hayes is not her son-in-law. And then she went on to name other people. Those are not her daughters. And she just went on. And I was grateful for that, because there are people in this community that can't stand her guts.
And it's our federal tax dollars that's putting gas in this moron's vehicle for her to bring her trash up your driveway.
Yes. Well, what happened after that, after we posted everything, the harassment picked up here. She stalked me on September 30th while I'm raking leaves, drives back and forth 4 times, parked on my driveway, honking her horn. I've got the video on my channel, honking her horn, calling me names, and then...
I've had that happen. I tell you what, you can't, absolutely, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot catch these cowards. You can't melt and pour one of these cowards on somebody real. They will run straight to their boss, their handler. He's threatened me, whatever, and they will come out and swat you with helicopters and tanks and lock you up. I've had it happen to me. Scared to death.
All he wants. It's all on video.
Yeah.
They're recorded.
Same here.
Where they run? They run to the county lawyer, and she runs to the sheriff's department, and she's a rat snitch, but she's a nurse. Okay, so I've got her number. I've got the nursing board number. And since I filed a criminal complaint against her, I have no problem contacting the nursing board and providing all the cease and desist letters that I have written to her and documenting her disgusting behavior. And if I didn't stand Child Protective Services, I would report her ass and have that child confiscated out of her disgusting...
And she got a child?
Yes, an underage child.
You mean somebody had sex with that woman?
Well, let me tell you what she did.
That's something.
I created a Facebook page a couple of years ago naming this town, because nobody created a Facebook page for this town. So me, the outsider from New Jersey, created a Facebook page for the town. I created a page for the former owner, a memorial page. Everybody said, oh, he was so wonderful. We loved him. Nobody did a damn thing for him. And the fact that they're vandalizing this property that he built from scratch is disgusting. But anyway, so she joins the group and starts slandering me.
Who does?
That I moderate.
Who joined the group?
Scarlett Marks.
Oh, she joined the group. Okay.
She joined the Facebook page. And
I'd have blocked her.
So I banned her. I banned her. So then what she does is under her underage son, who was at the time, he was
and they can't stand. They hate their kids. It's all about the kid with their children. Look, sex trafficking.
Signs up under his name.
Yeah.
So I don't block him, but I reduce his ability to respond in there because he's an underage boy.
Yeah, and CPS doesn't care. You report it to CPS, but that's
she should not be using his Facebook page to stalk me.
Right.
And that's what she does. And I have a copy of the post that she posted on Facebook.
Under his name?
No. This was under her name originally, where she is harassing me about using a flashlight on my property.
Look, it doesn't take. I mean, really. I mean, I'm speechless.
Now, you have to understand, I live in a rural area. There are no street lights like New Jersey.
Right.
Okay. If you want a street light, you've got to erect it and pay for it. I've got motion lights now.
Yeah.
But it is pitch black.
An armada of drones that'll light it up good, and that's the unlimited budget.
You have to walk around with a flashlight.
Break the code drinking perverts with drones.
But she has a problem. She had a problem with that, and I will read that to you. But I just wanted to say, because we're getting a little discombobulated here.
I know
that after she stalked me those 4 times on September 30th, I have the video. I posted it on my channel. That morning, 12:03, which is October 1st, 12:03 a.m., my cameras caught this. They pull up, and I wasn't sure who it was at first, but obviously it was. They pull up to my gate. They trespass, litter. They put trash, a trash bag that was filled with dirty, used toilet paper, an Irish Spring bar of soap or whatever.
That tells you about them there. Irish
Spring. Dumped it on my driveway. Okay. Now my camera, when you enlarge it, you could see that it was a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Somebody got out, their lights were there, and you could see it was their pickup truck. I had to enlarge it to see the color of the pickup truck. So I'm thinking, I didn't want to go out, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to go out and see what's there because it seemed like there was something hanging over my gate.
Wow.
Go out there with my flashlight. I'm recording it all the way. And that video is on my channel also. They put all this filthy, disgusting toilet all over.
Yeah.
So that day I called the sheriff's department. I said, you know what? I've had it. Called the sheriff's department. They sent to, I think they're called deputies here. And I provide them, I let them view the videos. I explained, and they're new people. They're only here a few months, these deputies. So they don't know the history.
Right.
So I said that I have sent her several cease and desist letters. They asked me to email it.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing. I have already sent it to the last sheriff, the current sheriff, Ross Murray, the county lawyer. They already have this information. Okay. But of course, they probably discarded it and wanted it again. Right. Because they can't do their jobs. And Ross Murray is controlling all of this. I can tell the demeanor. So they come here. I give them all that information. I email them immediately. I've got the email. I email them 8 attachments. I not only email them the cease and desist letters to Scarlett and Eddie Marks, the Facebook post that she made, but the cease and desist letters to John and Mary Perky.
Stalking and harassment is a crime, by the way.
For on Neighborhood Wars on A&E, April 11, 2023. Because they were employed and doing the exact same thing. So I guess maybe they're not on the payroll anymore. Maybe my other neighbors are not on the payroll anymore. So they moved it over to these other neighbors, right? So now they're the ones that are the prime harassers, in addition to a guy up the block here.
What's his name?
His name might be Dave. I can't give you the name of the street because it's too close to home. But the sheriff.
You go to the courthouse.
They know.
Go get the plat records and find out who owns that land.
Well, they know who he is.
It's on the plat records.
One of the officers told me. Yeah. Officer Collins told me, oh, yeah, I know who he is. Refused to give me his name. Refused to arrest the guy.
Wow. Yep. No, I've been there, done that.
He's trespassed my property. He dug up my grass. Now, also, this happened before the 12 a.m. raid of my driveway.
Wow.
That day, another pickup truck drove down and dug up my yard here, my outer field. I wasn't sure if it happened because my grass was long.
Yeah.
But when my landscaper came, they said, oh, yeah, it had happened again. So it was definitely either Eddie or his son, because he employs his son. His son now has his old pickup truck.
Yeah, they teach their kids to stalk at an early age.
They teach their kids very young. It's
like Hitler's Youth, same thing.
Yeah. So that happened. So after our last interview, I had 3 events happen with them. Scarlett driving back and forth, calling me names, threatening me, wanting me to come to the county road to fight her, which is not the first time she's done this, photographing me, saying that I flipped her off when I was raking leaves.
So
she's
what?
A total liar.
Of course.
Total liar. And then that morning, they come and litter my property trespass, headlight me, and then tear up my outer field while my house is listed for sale. Okay.
I would dig my heels in and hell would freeze over before I'd leave there. They don't want you there, and that's what they want. Move him, get him moved out, move him on down the road, move him.
Well, they want my property, but they're doing such damage. I mean, what they're doing to my property is off the charts. I'm going to file a massive complaint about what they've done. They're digging up my property.
You got a massive federal lawsuit as well.
I have a massive federal lawsuit.
Yes, which will trigger criminal charges because people start stepping away from this deal when the chips were in chip.
Yes, yes. And also, if my insurance company doesn't pay the claim because I'm going to get on their ass, then they're going to be sued too. They're all in on it, or they're all complicit. The county lawyer instructs everybody what to do. The little weenie, I call him a little weenie boy. That's what he is.
Oh, the lawyer.
But anyway, let me read this to you.
All right.
Okay, I just want to read this because I sent in February 1, 2021, a certified letter to Eddie and Scarlett Marks, cease and desist stalking, cyber stalking, electronic threats, harassment, and pet harm. Dear Scarlett, I was uncertain if I would send you this letter, yet the information therein needs to be documented for legal purposes. This letter will serve to confirm the following. And just for the record out there, everybody, you need to do this. You need to document your harassment and send what's called a cease and desist letter. You need this for your lawsuit. You need to prove that you have warned these people. You need to prove that you copied the sheriff. You need to prove that you copied the attorney general, which I did do. You need to prove that you sent it to the county lawyer. Okay? So now this is the first cease and desist letter. This is a cease and desist letter to you and your family. Persistent cell phone text threats and harassment and threats by you, cyber stalking, is KRS 508.130. That's Kentucky law. Stalking by you and your family, which is 508.140, stalking in the first degree. History. When I moved here May 2019, you were kind to provide a couple of cooked meals, and in return, I gifted you for free a myriad of valued items from my property that you were interested in. These people are predators. I'm just going to tell you, they're predators.
Yes.
They came here with a gift of food because they wanted something from me from the very beginning.
You didn't eat it, did you?
Well, you know what? This is what I did.
You don't have to tell it. But
first of all, I'm a generous person. When I moved here, the former owner left so much stuff here. If I showed you photos of what he left here, what I bought, it was off the charts. So, number one, I gave her a vintage metal porch rocker bench valued at $300 to $500.
Yeah, glider sofas.
A vintage butter mill valued at $120. A vintage top hat worn by the former owners, Travis Sparks, valued at $80 to $140. A vintage iron valued at $20. A variety of items, including framed photos of Travis Sparks. I gifted you an advertising sign that Eddie wanted. Who knows what that's worth? It was a vintage sign.
I've done the same crap. I mean, if you're a decent human being, you do what decent human beings do.
Exactly.
And they exploit that. They exploit that. They'll take, and then they'll backhand you and do what?
I want people to know who Scarlett and Eddie Marks really are.
Yeah.
I gave them all of this stuff. Okay. It was valued at probably close to $1,000. Okay? I said, you were quick to state that you wanted to purchase my property. This is from the beginning.
Yeah.
But they did not. Ross Murray tells me they didn't buy it because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, that's right.
On at least 5 separate dates, I received text messages from you stating the following. My cat was hit by a car in front of my house, stating that Eddie's ex-wife, Tanya, was responsible. One morning, you texted a photo of a wild boar near my driveway and asked me if I lost my pig when you knew that I did not own a pig. You texted me that there was a new burn ban on and that you would let me know when it ended, but you never did. You texted me that a bear was in my driveway. And you didn't want me to be scared.
Yeah.
No photo or evidence of a bear was ever offered.
God, no.
On Sunday, September 6, 2020, 9:30 p.m., I received a series of harassing and threatening text messages about my use of a spotlight, quote unquote, a flashlight on my property. You claimed that your niece was so shaken and crying because I spotlighted her. You histrionically texted me on and on and on about a contrived narrative making no sense at all and adding words and feelings to me that were non-existent and not even inherent and part of my personality. In fact, you need to research the laws in the state and town before making false claims because you sounded delusional.
Yeah. They are.
You are of the misguided belief that you know the difference between a spotlight and a flashlight, which is irrelevant. There is no such law or ordinance.
I get floodlights and pour them right at their house and cover them up.
There's no law banning flashlights or spotlights. In fact, Jackson Energy installed a huge street spotlight at the foot of my driveway. And if I want to use a flashlight on my property, which actually extends across the county road, I will.
Yeah.
Threatening me that your son-in-law is a cop who's friends with most of the police force here in the county is duly noted since you placed the threat in writing.
Yeah.
And you have now implicated yourself in delivering the threat. You went on to text another threat that there will be a member of the cop team paying you a visit because your spotlighting is illegal.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Send them on.
Well, that didn't happen. Yeah. So, as used in KRS 508130 to 508150, unless the context requires otherwise, to stalk means to engage in intentional course of conduct directed at a specific person or persons which seriously alarms, annoys, intimidates, or harasses the person or persons and which serves no legitimate purpose. The course of conduct shall be which would cause a reasonable person to suffer substantial mental distress. And a course of conduct means a pattern of conduct composed of two or more acts, including communications made verbally, electronically, or in writing, evidencing a continuity of purpose. I have 5 years of documented evidence of these stalkers, these vandalizers, these disgusting, trespassing, littering perpetrators.
Yeah. Trash.
Lie. They're not even related to the sheriff.
Trash of humanity.
They're not related. The sheriff is not her son-in-law. He never was. And unless he decides to finally marry her daughter, who has all his friggin' babies,
oh my God,
he will never be her son-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay? And if she were a good mother, she'd tell her daughter to close her friggin' legs and put a ring on it because the guy is not going to marry you if you keep allowing him to take advantage and abuse you.
Yeah.
That's just the way, and I'm just in my 60s and I just know better. You want to get married, close your friggin' legs.
Yeah. Well, they don't, these people, they will ride them church pews, honey, and put on the show. And, but I'm going to tell you, fornication, they don't talk about the adultery. I don't get on that subject either.
You know what?
They just get on a few things that they step on their toes, and then they'll go pointing their fingers. You know how it works.
I don't really care what people do. People can have
keep it the hell away from me. That's the thing. Right.
Whatever they want, they can have it 24 hours a day.
Right, but when they start targeting me, I make their business my business, and I put it out there.
Threatening me that their son-in-law is the sheriff, the son-in-law is their
I wouldn't give a tinker's damn who he was. Yeah.
It's bullshit. And the fact that somebody in this community, whose name I do not know, was nice enough to post that comment under the video saying that they can't stand her, that she's a liar, and that she draws people into her drama. It's
like this, Lorraine, nationwide. These people, these deplorables that try to pose and put themselves off as being something that they're not.
Yes.
The majority of people, they don't like them. They get along with them. They know them.
Yes.
If they don't like them because they know it's something, they don't know what's in their closet. If they know something's off, they don't want anything to do with it.
Yes.
That's usually the case. Now, you've got some that are real good actors that so I'm surprised. I thought this. And
acting.
That's where, it's where we come in the picture.
They're not actors. This is their behavior.
And when you speak of this actors, Lorraine, I want to stress that. I want to stress that you can bring constitutional rights violations to federal court against law enforcement, elected officials, and state actors. And because they are all working for the sheriff's department, they're state actors. Now, if you ever get to the point where they say, well, she's on a watch list or something like that, then they have parameters within that they're instructed to do. Most of the stuff they do is off the books, the gray area.
Yes.
It's total. We deny it. And of course, the judges have judicial immunity.
Yes.
Law enforcement has qualified immunity. And so they've got a lot of things that makes it impossible for an American citizen to air a grievance and to bring this to task.
Exactly.
And there is, in their opinion, no available process.
There's no due process.
We've got due process, which we've been denied, and that's what we have to keep pushing for.
Yes.
Is to make them show their cards. They don't want to admit,
yes,
in a public forum that Lorraine, that you're on list, we're targeting her. And we're doing shit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And
yes,
we've got these pathetics out here and white trash. And you got black trash and Mexican trash. You know, I want to just say white trash and let everybody else skate because
yes,
everybody's doing it. That's a part of it. We will let them make it. So they don't want to talk about that. They'd rather answer it and say, well, Lorraine is deranged. And
prove it.
Well, they can't prove it. What they will do is take things that you've said out of context, and they maybe have video footage of you of talking, going off on one of them.
No,
I know they don't make. Look at him; he's unhinged, and I'm the first one to admit I'm more than unhinged, and there's nothing about these people that I won't talk about. I'm going to keep exposing them. And you got to keep doing that, Lorraine. But
yes. So, well, in the last video that I caught her, where she's driving back and forth 4 times.
Yeah.
I did not say a word to her.
Well, I can't say
not one word. 0.
Yeah. They're trying to, Lorraine, what they're trying to do, let me tell you, they did the same thing to me. And I made a video. It's still posted, as far as I know. It's somewhere. I've got about near 1,000 that I was going to find who did it. And I was going to hunt them down. And the sheriff, we had a sheriff investigator, about 400-pound, 33-degree Mason, which is that should tell you everything you need to know right there. I said that you made some threats that these people are scared, and we're gonna charge you with that. Well, they didn't, and I didn't name any names. I didn't know who puts garbage there. He knew who put the garbage there. They're scared that you go hunt them down. Well, you know what? And that's always their mantra, Lorraine, is when you publicly put them out there and you tell them you're not going to tolerate it, they'll play that card. They're afraid of you. Well, you know, if I was caught on somebody else's property, like I caught people on my property, and then they put me on blast, I'd be scared too. They need to stay off my property. Well,
I'm exposing who they are.
Right.
They can disseminate all the false narratives in the community that were told by Ross Murray, the sheriff, the Fusion Center operatives that infiltrate these communities. Because again, I didn't know anybody when I moved here. So there was a narrative already spread about me without having ever met anybody. So
it's coming from the sheriff, or it's coming from the preacher, or coming from the Rotarian leader. Whoever. It said, well, you know, it's got to be the truth. If they're saying it.
Yeah, it could be a private contractor. It could be a Fusion Center operative. It could be InfraGard operative. I mean, all of these people are involved. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to, I'm almost finished with this letter.
Go ahead.
I want to say, and this is very important for people to create your cease and desist letters to your perpetrators, even if they don't respond. They almost never respond, right? So it is obvious from your incessant text messages that you are stalking me, in addition to intentionally cyber stalking, harassing, and threatening me through the persistent use of a cell phone. Driving with a license plate that reads, quote unquote, blessed is hypocritical. When you sell your soul to the devil, you are cursed. Not only are you a hypocrite, but you're a pathological liar, claiming repeatedly that you will send me invites you never do, neither of which I want any association with. Do not contact me. This is the key. Do not contact me for any reason at all.
Ever.
Again, you appear to be delusional and have zero knowledge of the law. If you threaten me again, I will file for a restraining order. This letter is copied to your friends. This is the former Sheriff Hayes and Ross Murray, which is the county lawyer. It will be included in my evidence folder. Here's the evidence. Lastly, most people in the community want to form alliances with new neighbors, especially in the state of the world today. Communities need to unite instead of turning into a snitch society spreading across the country. Unfortunately, it appears that you may be a community harassment stalker who has nothing better to do with your life than follow mine.
They have no life.
Professional and personal experience as a psychologist, this is symbolic of an addictive mindset, envious, jealous, and greedy. If you want my property so badly, make an offer. But I can assure you, I'm not moving anytime soon. And that was a couple of years ago. The family of the former owner, Travis Sparks, warns me to not trust the neighbors. They were correct in their warning assessment. This letter will serve as a formal cease and desist from your harassment, stalking, threats, and text messages. And this is the first cease and desist letter that I sent. And then I sent one, I won't go through the whole thing, May 30th, 2022, cyber stalking, I'll just, in the first degree. I gave a listing of the history of what they did. I also reiterated what stalking is, and that. And then we had our interview, right? We had our interview, and then I called the sheriff's department to get a copy of the incident after I showed them the videos. After I provided them with the cease and desist letters via email. I didn't hear back from them. I wanted to know if they contacted Eddie and Scarlett to tell them that I filed a complaint against them and to warn them to leave me alone. I called the sheriff's department. And first I was, let me just get it for you here. And I'll play a little bit of it so you can hear it. Isaacs. It has been 10 days since I filed the incident against Eddie and Scarlett Morris. 10 days. For littering, trespassing, harassment, stalking, threatening a worker on my property. That incident report number is 2024-00-4185. There were two officers or deputies. I don't know what the rankings are. They both said they were fairly new, only here a few months. I didn't get the officer's name, one of the officers' name. But one of the officers was Hardy, badge number 110. They were both nice. I think I mentioned they were very accommodating. However, I'm following up for a copy of the incident report and to find out what the outcome of them discussing my complaint with Eddie and Scarlett.
And what jail are they in?
This is I
Well, I won't know.
We can tell you that I called the sheriff's department.
It's time for outward.
Oh, wait, sorry about that. 1 second.
This Team K9 seat cover was so
1 second. An ad came on here.
And this is what happened.
Here, listen.
Yes, hi. My name is Lorraine Valenti. I filed an incident report last week. And I'd like to get a copy of it. Can you tell me if it's available? It was, I can give you the date and incident number. Right, it was Tuesday the 1st. Thank you.
So listen to what happens now.
So I was placed on hold a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought she was going to come right back to me.
No, they get in there and say, this is different. Yeah.
The recorder on pause.
Yeah.
So there's this long distance, long silence before she gets on the phone. Very long. Obviously, they were coaching her.
Absolutely.
Waiting for me to call.
I can't hear her.
Okay, an investigate.
Okay, so what she said, because she got a heavy accent, she says, well, we're told that it's still under investigation. And I respond, like, what kind of investigation? I provide.
You read the complaint and you issue the warrant, lock them up, and then hash it out in court. What are they going to investigate?
Exactly.
It's not an incident report. I filed an incident report, and I have an incident number. So what was it? The incident number is 2024004185. No, 2024, like 2024. 004185. An investigation has nothing to do with filing an incident. Okay, an investigation is separate from filing an incident. I filed a claim. The claim that I filed was for trespassing, stalking, vandalism, and littering, ongoing. And the officers asked me to email them copies of the cease and desist letters I previously sent to Scarlett and Eddie Marks, which I did do. No one has followed up since then. So I would like a copy of the incident reports of what we discussed that day.
Yeah.
And the videos that I showed them documenting Scarlett.
Did you ever get a copy of that report?
No.
For 4 times. And literally, they threw at
12 days
in the morning.
Yeah. I've got to go up there.
Pickup truck. One person was in the vehicle. One person got out and threw soiled toilet paper all over my driveway and more trash. It was all caught on camera. I showed the officers. So it's very simple. All they have to do is write an incident report of what I described to them that day and document the videos that I showed to them. If they're going to perform an investigation afterwards, based upon my cease and desist letters over the last almost 5 years, that is separate than my filing incident. In addition, I would like to know if the officers on that day drove to Eddie and Scarlett Marks' house to tell them that I filed a complaint against them.
They're the ones told them to do it.
It's very simple.
Sorry about that. There's another advertisement here. 1 second.
Hello?
So this
Are
is
you there?
Do you hear this?
So meanwhile, she claimed. Did you hang up? She claimed she was just. Well, this is recorded. This is Lorraine Valenti.
I play games.
Friday. October, I just called Sheriff Daniel Isaac's office. And they said that they don't have an incident report. After I gave them the incident report number 2024.
There's a report number, but they don't have the report.
They don't have a report.
about that.
October 1st. Are you still there?
Oh God.
Okay, well, it appears as if I was on hold indefinitely.
Yeah, hoping you'd hang up. There you go. They don't know what to do with it. They have no idea what to do with it.
Okay, all right. So an incident report is different than an investigation. An investigation is completely separate than an incident. I filed an incident to document what I experienced, the crimes against me, perpetrated against me by Eddie. I would like to know if I can have a copy of that incident report documenting what I stated, documenting that they viewed the videos that I provided them, documenting that they received the cease and desist letters over the last almost 5 years, and if they went to Eddie and Scarlett's house to warn them about my filing of the claim. That's usually the standard procedure.
They got to figure out the lie they're going to tell, Lorraine, because they're the ones that gave them the directive to come out there. So asking them to go out there to the house and ask them about it is like, they going to pretend like all that's going on. But what they're not saying is, well, look here. We're the ones that sent them out there to do that. You're not telling us anything new. So you're asking us what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
We're not going to do nothing. That's what they need to say, but they're not going to say that. They'll just put you on hold, drag you, lose it.
Absolutely.
All kind of BS. And they get paid by us, by the way, to do all this stuff.
Yes, yes.
To pretend like that they're representing your best interests or doing what they swore an oath to do. And they broke that oath. All of them did, folks.
Yes.
They're oath breakers.
Meanwhile,
integrity.
I mean, you watch all the cop videos and
I don't
auditors and stuff.
I get plenty of that in real time. I have to watch a video.
Well, listening to this, you can tell that they're all complicit.
Yes.
That they're engaged in criminal acts. They're engaged in felonies, misdemeanors. They're lying. They're oath breakers. It's conspiracy against right. Title 18, Section 241 and 242. They have violated federal laws, state laws of Kentucky.
One thing that they violated, Lorraine, that you don't hear, and I've talked about, I hadn't done it quite enough, is this is, I think, one of the elephants in the room. All of these organizations, all of these law enforcement agencies, and the community organizations that work cumulative together are receiving or have received federal grant money. Now, when you were initially placed on a watch list and they gave their reasoning, that was a fraudulent entry.
Yes.
And from that point on, every time an entry was made and they keep tabs on their targets, that is another felony.
Yes.
When they're brought to task on defrauding the federal government or federal grant money, I'm telling you, there's going to be problems. And the whole deal, my deal, your deal, was based on a fraudulent entry, a fraudulent statement made by these individuals.
Yes.
And knowingly and willingly made this fraudulent entry. They can't say, well, I was just doing what I was told to do. No, they're going to be held responsible. And everybody after that is going to be held responsible.
Yes.
So everything you're doing was based on a fraudulent entry, a fraudulent accusation, a fraudulent arrest, whatever, fill in the blank.
Yes. And, a lot of groups out there, who file lawsuits and stuff. So far, no one has filed a lawsuit against the Sheriff's Association. No one has filed a defamation lawsuit.
Well, I think that is going to be coming. I filed 5, but I will tell you, the next one that rolls out is going to be the COPS program and the National Sheriff's Association Neighborhood Watch. You can bet your bottom dollar, and they know who I am, and they know I'm not blowing smoke. That's what's coming, boys and girls.
Yes.
Win, lose, or draw. You go spend some money and answer it.
They're spreading lies throughout
Absolutely.
the community. The conversation that we're having here today, we're spreading truth about what has transpired. I mean, you can see that when I moved here, I was very generous towards these people.
Yeah.
I mean, I gifted them things that were on the property, but they were predatory from the very beginning. They knew what was here before I even did. They had their eyes on what they wanted on my property and brought me a couple of meals so that they can get what they wanted. So they were predatory from the time I moved here.
These are rat stalking, rat snitches.
Yes.
I got a video the other day. I did put it all up there. 2 known rat snitches were with other stalkers that live here close, all working together. And if you're stalking and doing this crap, and don't come at me when I put your name on the list, why you never snitched on it? But you are working for the police, okay? Let me break it down to you. Therefore, you the police. Therefore, you are a snitching rat. Period. End of discussion. Quit trying to convince me or anybody else otherwise. You are a stinking, snitching rat doing things against other people that you know are not right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, the fact that she is a licensed nurse.
Oh, God. Probably
very
thinks she's a doctor.
It's very disturbing to me. And that she has a young child who happens to be, if I remember him correctly, he was a very nice boy. I think maybe he was 10 at the time. So maybe he's like 14 at this point. I don't know how
probably
old
have him turned out for long.
But it was deeply, deeply, deeply disturbing that this is what's happening here. It's even more disturbing to know that she's a nurse.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the nursing board would want to know. They would want to see the video of her disgusting behavior.
You're going to make sure they get it, aren't you?
I'm going to make sure they have it. Absolutely. I wanted a copy of that incident report to send to them. And if the sheriff's department is not going to give me the incident, well, guess what?
You signed that incident report, didn't you?
I didn't get anything.
I mean, okay. So when they came out to see you, they didn't fill out anything?
Nothing.
Okay, that right there. Hello, there's your red flag. I've had that happen. They come out there. Yeah. And what else happened? They take mental notes of it. Send me an email. No, I don't. I'm not sending you nothing. Get a pencil and paper and write this crap down. I had to start making them do it. And and if I'm gonna have a problem getting a copy of it, they get your phone out and take pictures of it and take a picture of them. All that, and I've got that, and I've got some of those videos up as well.
Well,
they still play dumb.
On October 1st, which was after the officers left here, at 6:01 p.m., I emailed them. I said, "Dear Sheriff's Office, thank you for taking my complaint today, October 1, 2024, regarding Eddie and Scarlett Marks, who reside at," and I gave the address. Yeah. "Attached, please find the documented history of stalking, harassment, trespassing, menace, harassing workers, defamation, and harassing and texting threat messages and cyber stalking by Eddie and Scarlett Marks. Your office may recall many similar incidences by John and Mary Perky, also filed with your office to no avail. I'm attaching those cease and desist letters to demonstrate." Have
you FOIA those complaints?
I will be.
FOIA those, and I want to get copies of them too.
Okay, to demonstrate a history and pattern of community and neighbor stalking and harassment. If you require additional information, do not hesitate to contact me. And there were 8 attachments. Yeah. I received no response from them.
Well, it may require you to roll up in there with the camera rolling. I need to speak to the sheriff and tell me what the deal is. Get the sheriff on record and see if he can do the Texas 2-step or the Kentucky.
Well, you want to know something else that happened here. Now, this is unrelated to me, but I am an animal lover. And this just shows you what this county is about.
Yeah.
There is a YouTube creator called Sharks, showing animals kindness or whatever. and he documents animal cruelty in all the states.
I've got a video that they did here. It's posted on my channel. I'm well familiar with them.
Yes, and here in Jackson County, Kentucky, the sheriff and his buddies were covering up the rooster fights.
The cockfights here in Mississippi. They're doing the same thing here.
Disgusting.
Yeah. They same thing here, Lee County Sheriff. And what they hadn't got into the dog fights and then I try to pick up where they left off, and I cover we are in probably one of the biggest hot spots of swinging that in the country. Oh, I'm telling you, wife swapping. Oh my God. And I'm telling you, it's
like that in New Jersey too.
Yeah. If they had a wife swapping convention, First Baptist Church wouldn't have two people in it, or that or the Methodist Church. You think something else had happened?
Well, they'd be competing with Manalapan in New Jersey.
Well, we're all married, and
we're all married. Yeah,
they found a loophole in there somewhere, folks. But I can tell you what. Here's the loophole that you had looked at, and that's the one that's sending you straight to hell. That's the one.
So basically, my documenting that phone call to the sheriff's department was saying an investigation is completely different than filing an incident. And if you did, in fact, start an investigation, I want the name of the officer. Come out of the lawsuit
and get your records. That, and you're going to find they didn't do a damn investigation.
I want the name of the officer. Right. The date of the investigation started, who was interviewed, how come I wasn't informed since I'm the person filing the complaint?
Yep.
It's bull crap. It's just total bullshit. And I'll tell you that Ross Murray, after I filed the complaint with the Attorney General, who contacted him about my filing a complaint against the Sheriff's Department and Ross Murray specifically, took down all my FOIA request information that were public knowledge so that everybody could see the information. He contacted Muckrock, and I think I mentioned to you, and my account was removed. 41 public FOIA requests.
That's right. They're doing their part, folks. And make a complaint on this with a private company like Yelp. They'll pull it down.
Everything was down.
Make a complaint on Facebook. They'll be on you there.
Yes, I think I mentioned to you about the locksmith that I hired when I first moved here, Kentucky locksmith.
Helped him and it disappeared. Same thing with this.
When he showed up, he didn't know how to install the locks, these Defender locks that I had. And then he turned to me and says, well, you have got a PhD. How come you don't know how to install it? And it's like, I looked at him like, where did he get that information from? Like, who researches a homeowner before you go to install locks? He refused to install my deadbolts.
Well, I told him after he done everything, you've got a GED? Figure out how you're going to get paid. Now get the hell off my property.
And he charged me like $175 to not install.
But if you can get in your vehicle before I can get bullets in my gun, hey, and guess what? I already got bullets in, so I got to go get it.
He was like a retired military guy with all the tattoos and stuff. I think he's InfraGard.
Well, probably that's who they use, and they've got somebody for that, whatever it is.
Yes. But I wanted to explain to people out there, people who have seen my other testimonies, and when you move around, people have asked me, well, where's the best place to live? You know,
where you are right now is the best place to live. Stand your ground. That's the best place. Don't give them what they want, folks. I make them uncomfortable every damn day. If you're gone, they don't have to face reality.
They have actually destroyed my stream behind my house. Oh. They have either used an energy weapon or a pick, and have picked all the retaining wall of my stream. They pulled the rock out. They're
demon possessed, godless, pathetic.
Tree roots.
I know I've said that before.
Tree roots.
Yeah.
The supporting tree roots that support the creek retaining wall.
Karma's real, folks.
Burned it.
Y'all keep that in mind when you're out here. When you sold your soul to Satan, that's a wrap anyway. And most of you that are participating in this that think what you're doing is harmless.
Yes.
You have sold your soul to the devil. Period.
Yes.
Keep thinking it's harmless.
I also
from the devil.
Expose my insurance company, the Kentucky Farm Bureau. Now, I really like to support local people, but I spent a lot of money on my insurance, a ton. I spend more here on my little cabin and all these little buildings than I did in Manalapan, New Jersey with my $1 million umbrella policy. I spend more money here. And so far, 2 claims, I have the ridiculous deductible, and they're not paying my claims when it's clearly vandalism.
I did the same thing, Lorraine. I had I filed a not at fault, whatever it was, and only one. They dropped me. Only people who would insure me was Lloyd's of London, and you have to pay Lloyd's. I mean, they'll insure anything, but that's what I had to do. Well, they try to make it impossible. They want to destroy the target on every turn, every avenue. It didn't matter where. That's why I bet nobody's come by and invited you to church either, have they?
Well, like when I moved here, I could even show you photos of what it looked like when I moved here and what I brought with me. When I moved here, I decided I'm going to start new. Yeah. Well, my house was brand new, built by Amish. Yeah. My cat's nonprofit building and my shed, brand new, custom made.
Oh, wow.
Custom
leave
built
that place for nothing.
And they are destroying it. I've already had to replace all the windows on my cat's.
What are they doing to the windows? Are they shooting them out?
No, what they did is they took all the insulation out around the windows.
Oh, boy.
And then now they're slicing all the screens. Yeah. I replaced them all. It cost me about, I don't know, $3,600.
This is a single woman living out there in the country. And folks, what kind of person targets a person like that? Just like they target the Golden Agers in Florida.
They're bullies. One day, Eddie and Scarlett will be my age. And they are teaching their children how to treat people.
Their children are going to be monsters like them, or their children are going to wake up and smell the coffee and realize that their parents were monsters and they're going to hate them.
Absolutely.
Only 2 things. There's only 2 ways this is going to go.
Yes.
And I tell you, when you turn on the TV and you see where a kid that was targeted, the first person he shot was his mother in the face, I believe, or his grandmother in the face, and walks up to the school. The backstory of that story, folks, is they've been picking on and targeting that boy, including the teachers, helping to isolate Pasco County, Florida, folks that doing it everywhere. If I don't, why my child's having problems? Well, he's had blah, blah. The teachers, this program will help isolate this child, allow bullying and all this stuff. And then when one of these kids goes off the charts and goes on a killing spree, it's like, well, he was quiet. He was an oddball. Whatever. But the backstory is always they were a victim of this program, Lorraine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I call the FBI my favorite bureau of instigation.
That got me blocked.
Well, I've called them. I had so much evidence. They hung up on me in New Jersey. Yeah. I filed complaints here in Kentucky. And the thing is that, while they may not be heading all this targeting, they have the original lists.
They are well aware of what is going on. Yes.
Yes. The ACLU.
Their baby.
And for anybody who's out there that really wants to understand the watch listing process, there's a PDF online, and I also read it on my channel. Other people did it too. It's called Trapped in a Black Box, Growing Terrorism Watch Listing and Everyday Policing, written by the ACLU based upon FOIA requests of the FBI's watch listing process. Wow. The FBI did not comply with all of the FOIA requests. They only gave them certain information from 2006 to 2008
Yeah.
And the paper was written in 2016.
Yeah.
And at that time, based upon that information, there were 900,000 Americans on those lists.
That was absolutely just window dressing, folks. It's in the millions.
Right now, it is estimated Brian Coffrin, who was an SIS whistleblower. I was just listening to it the other night, and this is only about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago, he estimated that there was at least 2 million plus,
of course,
people on this list. Now, fast forward to 2024, I'm going to say it's got to be between 4 and 8 million people.
Well, let me tell you. We had the big deal with this COVID. And they shut everything down, including the churches. And hardly anybody said anything. Walmart didn't close. They made $1 trillion over and above their projected profits the first year of COVID. But and then unemployment was through the roof, and they were sending out stimulus checks, and people were getting extra unemployment because so many people were out of work. That's all over with, Lorraine. Now, none of these businesses are open 24 hours a day. Walmart's closed 10, 11 o'clock at night. Nothing's open past 11 o'clock at night. Get that. A few places, truck stops and maybe whorehouses. Everything else is closed. So there's no stimulus checks, and there's people begging. They can't get help, even with the day shift.
Yes,
they can't get help. Now, COVID didn't kill that many people, Lorraine. So we got millions that they're not working. They're not drawing unemployment. How are they living? Well, I'm telling you how they're living. They brought them into the fold. They brought after the COVID. They brought them in. Now they're getting compensated and getting help with their rent, their utilities. CPS is going to let them keep their kids, and they can renew their NAMBLA membership and a Dollar Tree gift card and whatever else godless prize they can put up for these people. That's what they're living up. That's why they're not working. They are working. They're working and draining the federal tax base, the tax dollars to this grant money. That's where it's coming from.
Yes.
Now, we've got more people than ever that's out here. Now, if there's that many people, Lorraine, then we know that the targeting of American citizens has got to be, and I'm going to say conservatively, probably flirting closer to 30, maybe 40 million Americans. And I think I'm being conservative by saying that. Because there's too many people involved.
Yes.
And the target, once they isolate that target, they interject their people into that target's ecosystem.
That's right.
Something strange comes through there, they'll try. They don't always get, but eventually they will.
Yes.
They will start on them, and they'll increase until that person pulls away from that target, quits being their friend, quits taking their calls, give them the cold shoulder. They will give up. And there's a few people though that have backbones, and so that's what's going on, folks, with this deal. That's the only rationale I can give why none of these businesses are open. Why they don't have any 24 hours. It's like that there too, isn't it? 10, 11 o'clock, everything's closed.
Well, it's like that here all the time anyway, because it's a rural area.
Yeah.
There isn't anything open. There's nothing open here that stays open that late. Now, in New Jersey, there were businesses that stayed open until 11 midnight. You know, like the local gyms would stay open, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts would stay open till like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But we don't have anything like that locally right here.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I wanted to say also that, you know, there are 80 fusion centers around the country, and fusion centers, most of them are affiliated with Homeland Security. And
it's Department of Homeland Security Fusion Center, which are owned by state employees and private entities.
Yes, and so you cannot FOIA request them. That's the thing.
No, it's private. That's right.
It's private. They make it private for a reason.
That's right. No oversight.
Yes, they're the ones. I mean, this is what I've heard. that the fusion center operatives, the agents, are sent into communities where the target lives.
Right.
And they're the ones that, based upon everything that they've surveilled, your emails, your family, they will concoct a narrative about you and disseminate it into
Exactly. Smear
and
tactics, rumor mills, the whole deal.
They believe it. Yeah, they're so ignorant that they believe everything that they hear, and then they embellish whatever it is, and then spread it through the community. I've never met half of the people here. I'm too busy here. I have no interest in what my neighbors are doing. Like, I've had people, subscribers say, oh, well, would you want to know what your neighbors are doing? I said, I don't give a crap what they're doing. Right. I could care less. There's nothing that they do that interests me.
Right.
So, and then we also have to understand that the mindset of these people is that they cannot think for themselves. They don't create for themselves. So they have to steal from others. They're predators.
Right.
And I have these acronyms that I have for them. The COPS, MOPS, LOPS, POPS, and WOPS, which are the criminals on patrol, the morons on patrol, the losers on patrol, the predators on patrol, and the witches on patrol, because they're involved in witchcraft.
Yes. Well, look, the roots of witchcraft is Satanism.
Yes.
It all goes back to Satan. And so when a person is out here doing what they're doing, and all these little tricks and stuff right out of the spook CIA playbook and the FBI COINTELPRO playbook. And they said, well, I don't wear a pointed hat and I go to seances or melt candles on these, whatever they do. Bloody chicken feet and all that crap. But what they are doing is the same thing people are doing in black magic and witchcraft. And
yes.
They don't know because they had been. So they're practicing it, but one thing that they do know is right from wrong. And every element of this program, Lorraine, is a direct, and I repeat, a direct conflict with the Word of God.
Absolutely.
You claim to be a godly person, and you believe that this is a good program, and they're doing good things. You are absolutely deceived. God has no part in rumors, lies, destruction, hate, terror, isolation, destroying families, on and on and on and on. He does not work in any of those elements.
No.
That's the elements of who? The evil one.
Satan.
It's simple. You can't justify it.
Yes.
Now you got backslidden preachers or fake preachers that somehow dance around that and make these people feel comfortable.
Yes.
And because there's so many of them, this mob mentality.
Yes.
This mob mentality. Since there's so many of them, they believe that by God, that they're right. And but I'm telling you, that's the reason the gate is wide to hell. Okay.
Yes.
And that's exactly where you are targeting another human being and destroying every element of that person's life.
Yes.
You have sold your soul to Satan, period. God does not say, well, you was worried. That was a job. And I'm going to go ahead and sanction lying, stealing, and all that stuff. No, it doesn't work like that.
Well, also the local people here, and I can't speak for other people that are experiencing targeting if they live in an apartment or even if they have a house.
These people live in these condos, apartments. Oh God, that is.
There's an inherent envy and jealousy and greed. And the thing is, these people, they've got larger houses than I do. Everybody's got land around here. Yeah. But I mean, it is an absolute fact that the local people were interested in this land, this property, before I moved here. But yet, the former owner had passed away and it was vacant for a year and a half. You mean to tell me if they wanted it so badly that they couldn't have gotten their whole family together to purchase this land?
Let me tell you, an elderly couple I interviewed in Chickasaw County, Mississippi, were destroyed, murdered about 10 days after I interviewed them. Begged me to get them an interview with FBI. I've told the story before, but I'm telling you, folks, if you don't believe that these people sanction murder, don't care who you are, how old you are, how young you are, that you are sadly mistaken. And it's not an isolated case.
Yes.
And I will tell you, I've been very public about this one, and I've yet to have someone contact me to get an official statement from me. They already have their narrative. They already have reason they're doing what they're doing to Lorraine. That's the way it is. And if you die tomorrow, Lorraine, I will promise you there will be no investigation.
No.
They'll have a story. They'll tell the press or the newspaper, maybe not. And it would matter if 100 eyewitnesses come. So now I've seen this. That story never changes.
Right. Well, that's why this is why a lot of times, and I don't mean to boast or brag or whatever, but I will say sometimes on my videos, one, I do not smoke cigarettes. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't even take an aspirin. Okay. Yeah. I eat organic food. When I lived in New Jersey, I exercised, 5 times a week. I was a gym rat and stuff. And I'm busy taking care of my animals here. I don't have time for this nonsense. I've got a couple of degrees. I've got a master's degree, an undergraduate degree. I graduated with honors. I've got certified drug and alcohol counseling credits towards that program. I was a chairperson for the Alcohol and Drug Alliance in New Jersey. I did 6 years of community service. I was a notary public in 2 states. Well, a certified clinical hypnotist. Yeah,
you just be smarty pants, and they're going to destroy you for that.
Well, the thing is, that's why, and I'm not saying it to brag.
No.
But if people are going to spread some false narrative, you need to hear the facts.
Yeah, they don't care about the facts. Right. I've had multiple these stalkers, they don't care about the facts are irrelevant because they are followers. They are pathetic, mindless, soulless, godless followers, and whatever the man says, that's it. With now, then when you confront one of them and get into their biscuits, they just double down on it. I sure don't like it. It was okay, but I really don't like it now.
I don't talk to them.
I do. I try to make them hate me. It's bad.
No, I have no.
I drive them. I try and drive them. And they know what I'm driving them for. Yeah, but it's and I don't recommend that for everybody, but somebody and plenty of other people are doing the same thing. So we did a couple of interviews, and we've exposed these people. So what do? They retaliate. Pumping trash. And now the sheriff that we already said is a criminal with a badge. This moron is coaching his whoever's answering the phone. Now they're dragging you. So what's the next plan of action with these folks, Lorraine?
Well, the next plan of action is obviously documenting this, but I just as I did before, and it was useless, but it's very important to go through the steps. The steps are then I compile all this information.
Absolutely.
Try to get the FOIA. If they don't give it to me, I'll file a complaint with the Attorney General. Again, we've got a new Attorney General who's an FBI guy. Now, he might not know everything that's going on. So I have to refresh his memory about the last complaint that I filed. And then what I will do is getting citizen journalists is very important. Getting the message out there through citizens. But I'm also going up higher. I mean, I might just contact Congress. I might sidestep the Department of Justice.
I have a petition that's been in for about 2 years. Of course, I've talked about my 1.5-year hiatus and about this program. We changed this, Lorraine, in 2 ways. One, exposing this place, this program, one city at a time, one county at a time, one state at a time, and one individual at a time. But more importantly is we help empower the victims one at a time, because it is important for you, Lorraine. It's important for all the victims to have somewhere to go, for their voice to be heard, for that public record to be there.
Absolutely.
If they're extinguished tomorrow, at least their story will be known to somebody. And I think that is important.
Absolutely.
Because they want to absolutely destroy the messenger and thus hopefully destroy their message, whatever that may be. They don't want that legacy. And that's my intention, is to create a digital legacy.
Yes, yes.
And these digital records, ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to believe it or not, will live forever. Generations to come. Your great-grandchildren will know if you are a pathetic creep or if you was a good person. You won't be able to distinguish that. And if that's all we accomplished, Lorraine, I feel good, because I know that these people will not be able to rewrite history as much as that they want to rewrite history.
Yes, and it's also about exposing these people who participate in these disgusting behaviors to their employers.
Yeah.
May be complicit, they might be complicit, but it doesn't matter. Right. And to the people around here, because not everybody is bad. Not everybody's in on it. There are people around there that probably don't even know who I am.
That's right.
They hear things that whatever, but there are some smart people out there that can think for themselves, sort of like the woman that left that message on my channel that says, we want nothing to do with her. She's a liar.
Right.
But she tries to draw people into all of her personal business. So there are people out there that want to hear this story.
Absolutely. Rain, I get people literally, especially if I get out, when I'm in public, and I travel around, inevitably I'll see somebody that recognizes me, or I'll get a message, I'll get an email, I'll get a communication, and I get them almost daily, folks. I like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good thing. I know that and these people that are in on this deal, they hate that, Lorraine. They want the victim to feel like the whole world hates them. And I'm telling you what, I reject that. I reject every lie the devil ever told, and that's one of them.
Yes, and they want us warring against each other, and in the targeted community and stuff, and they actually infiltrate the community.
They've got their own. That's right. Rain, you got. We're going to try to wrap this up. That's why we're going to have you back, because we can't. There's going to be more on Jackson County, folks.
I'm sure.
I promise you, there's going to be more.
I'm certain. Yes.
Because I have no intentions of letting up on that cesspool in Jackson County, Kentucky.
Yes.
So,
and I appreciate it.
Maybe one of these days I'll come up there, and they will be stirred up. And I know they want me to come up there. They don't want me as bad as they think they do. But anyway, I've heard a lot of people, Lorraine, and this is one of the lies, is I don't know what to do. I'm targeted. And you tell them to document and all that, and they always say this is where you know that you're dealing with a volatile person, is they'll say, well, yeah, but you can't prove it. Whoa, that's
not true.
Or they're not stalking me. They stalk everybody different. Here's the deal: they're not doing all these things that like Lorraine's talking about, but they're targeting you a different way. They're in your eyelids or down your. In your frontal cortex, your brain dancing around.
Yes,
They've got you already in a rabbit hole, targeted justice, or any of these other rabbit holes on Area 51, and you run in circles. That's all you talk about. That's controlling you. You're burning you up. That you got all this stuff, and you can't prove none of it. Absolutely, they got you. You step away. You step out of Area 51. It's okay. That may be real. That stuff's going on. They got you take blah, blah, blah. Well, you step away from that and refuse to buy into that rabbit hole, keep talking about that crap, and start focusing on these warm bodies, it'll change.
Yes.
They'll start the cars, and then you start documenting. That's where they don't want you, okay? They want you off in cyber world.
Yes.
As long as they got you there, they will destroy you. You will be destroyed. But when you step away from that and you step into the real world, you're going to see it in real time. And that's where you get the names and their mugs, and you start getting some traction on taking these people to task.
Yes, yes. So for the people out there that are maybe listening to this for the first time, just document everything. Start your own YouTube channel. Even if you don't want the videos to be public, there's a method for you to make them private so that nobody sees them.
Right. You can only people you elect to see them can see them.
Exactly. So, you got to start somewhere, because this is being exposed. There are more and more people coming forward with mysterious illnesses, with home break-ins, with things missing in their home.
Yep.
Their pets are acting bizarre.
Yes.
Their pets are suddenly sick with illness.
They've killed 3 of mine. Okay.
Yes. It's horrible. It's just horrible. And the vets, I don't know what's wrong with your cat. I don't know what's wrong. Because they don't know what's wrong, because they're seeing symptoms that are so different than any illness that they usually treat.
Well, I'm going to tell you, folks, it's a sad state of affairs for this country. And let me say, for this planet, this program, just like McDonald's, is global.
Yes.
There's people across the globe that are going through that very same thing. These countries follow step right in with the United States.
Yes.
That's part of the deal. You want to do business with the United States, it's pay to play. And these countries that are allies with the United States and do business with the United States are going to participate in this program. That's part of the deal. They want it because this is the greatest country in the world and all that.
It's huge. It's a huge money-making, asset-stripping program. It's actually human trafficking. It's
human trafficking at its finest.
Asset stripping.
They know it, and that's why they get all this money to combat human trafficking.
Real estate. I call it real estate mobbing. When you own property, when you own a home and stuff, they want to destroy it so they can buy it up at pennies on the dollar.
Right, and that the elderly couple I was telling you about that was murdered. This Lorraine was over property that the killers wanted that are still there in Chickasaw County, Mississippi. That's a fact. I know what the people told me. I know what the lady told me. She wrote down her cell phone number, her husband's cell phone number, and she said, "Promise me you'll get the FBI to come because I'm afraid that what's going to happen." And I gave her my word. That phone number, that note is still in my wallet, and I still hold that commitment of exposing this. And my word that I gave to that woman.
You can't stay quiet. You can't stay quiet about these things.
No.
First of all, when you hold in anger, when you hold in your feelings, it hurts you.
Yes.
You've got to let it out. You've got to express it. And if it means creating a video,
right,
punching your pillow or whatever it is, you've got to get that out because it harms you. And they already create a stressful environment. And if you see bugs flying around, it's because these losers have thrown gnats inside my house. They're flying everywhere.
Let me tell you, they'll bring you bed bugs. I've heard people mention that. They will listen. I'm telling you, every calamity that you can think about.
Yes.
Again, these not godly people. A man of God is not going to do this. So that y'all get the drift here.
Well, I wanted to mention also, because we're face to face here, but there are a lot of targeted people out there that are very shy about sharing their information.
Yeah.
So I've offered, at least on my channel, if somebody wants to email me, alternativehomesteading@gmail.com, and they want to write their testimony, I'll be happy to read it out loud for them to save.
Yeah.
You've got your Zoom meeting set up.
I'll do the same thing, Rain, and I would. I don't read them out, but what I have done is I've written a story about that person.
Oh, okay.
And, some of those are on my Substack, so I do the same thing, Lorraine. Okay,
it's good. It's very important for people to get.
I want your story, and I think it is important.
It's very important for people to have their stories out there, even if you don't have to include a name. Like I'll create a name for you that's reminds me of your story. But it's very important. And sometimes people give me their story. I'll post it, and then they'll say, "Well, it's okay to add my first name or whatever."
It is. They you know, they say I don't. And a lot of people, Lorraine, are targeted.
Yes.
And they don't tell their family. They'll tell their friends at church because they're ashamed. They're afraid of what they'll think about them. That they're and they have their own private battle here.
Yes.
And often a lot of them are being medicated, and
Yes.
And they are just in a very miserable place in their lives, and people don't quite understand it. And hopefully we can throw a lifeline to those people, Lorraine, and let them know that it doesn't have to be like that.
No. And I'm sure that after this is posted, I'll get some more vandalism from these criminals, but that's okay because I'll just record it. It'll be another recording for me and more evidence for me. And, I just want to be left alone. Most targeted people want to be left alone.
Of course, every American wants to be left alone. They want to be left alone. Let people live this so-called American dream that has been stripped away from America, and let them raise their family, work, have their own plot of soil in this world, this thing that's going on here. But this program knows that that's what we want, and that's what they focus on, is destroying that, to try to take that away. And so it's never, ever entered the equation in my thought process of going off grid or digging a hole or anything else. I want a bigger stage, a bigger spotlight, a louder microphone, and stay right where I am, right in the middle of it, because I'm not going to let these pathetics dare think that I'm going to let them alone and not keep exposing them.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm happy to sell my property, but it's not going to be for pennies on the dollar. And the more they continue to vandalize my property and I document it, I will file a massive lawsuit about the vandalism. And I will name all of the people here because I know that Eddie is a logger. I know that he and his wife are extremely vindictive. I know that my next door neighbors are vindictive, to the point where I hired Noble Landworks. This is really important. I hired them a couple of years ago to clear my property across the street because it was overgrown with weeds. Yeah. But when the guy gets here, at the foot of my driveway, he's having a conversation with Eddie Marks.
Oh, God.
How does he go in?
They want to always jump in the middle of your business. Yeah.
He jumped right in. Eddie jumped right in. Obviously, threatened him, warned him, bribed him that this guy actually created a path from my neighbor's house to the back of my house.
Eddie Marks needs his ass whooped.
Eddie Marks did that. Yes. Yeah. And obviously I got the proof.
And I'll be the one to do it.
Back there, I said, what the hell?
I hope I'm never up there and get eye shot of you. You'll need to sheriff in.
Yeah. And then he gets here and he says, well, I can't cut across the street because of my equipment, blah, blah, blah. I had waited more than a month for I signed an agreement with him and he reneged on the written agreement.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? I have this other little piece of land that I just want this little piece cleared.
You have to be careful, right? When you make deals, these people say, this is how I want it. This is what I want you to do. Anything extra you do. You put a landing strip in, parking spots, whatever you do, I'm not paying you. We agree on that and agree on that. When you're done, I pay you. And if we work with those parameters, we got a deal.
Well, he ended up
real clear at the front end. That's when he did that, he would have got
another
paid.
Day. He damaged my property here. I didn't even see it until after he had left because he was property. It took me a couple of days to get there. And then I saw what he did in the back. I was mortified.
Yeah.
He refused phone calls from me. Now, a regular person who's not been bribed would have no problem taking your phone call.
I'm sure he's bonded and insured. I just sue him and get all that. And these insurance companies will pay it. That's their price that they pay. And case in point is Berkshire Hathaway's own Progressive Insurance. They know that this community of stalkers are out here sideswiping people, hitting them, rear ending them, everything else. They know the deal. They pay it, the whole thing.
the insurance companies are complicit in a lot.
Yes, absolutely. They won't stay in business. They're going to be complicit.
By being complicit, they perpetuate the crimes that are taking place.
And that's everybody else is paying for it.
Absolutely. So that's why you got to call out the insurance companies.
Exactly. And I just did Progressive.
Yes.
You better believe it. I know it for a fact.
I don't know.
When I went to, I couldn't afford Progressive, but after I got had 2 or 3 accidents from stalkers, they all had Progressive. And when I went to renew my insurance, I said, and got comprehensive. Well, we've got the best deal that we can get you. And I said, well, who's it with? And Jim tell me. And it was very affordable. Full, total, comprehensive, what some people call full coverage, but it's called comprehensive. And so I didn't pay any attention. I get home, open it up, and who do I have insurance with? Progressive. That's who I had. That's who gave me the deal.
Yes.
And believe me, there's a story behind that. The fix was in, but anyway, yeah, they are absolutely complicit.
They're absolutely complicit because when my last insurance claim, which was so obvious, he took photos and everything, was denied. He says, "Well, you didn't get a sheriff's report." And I said, "Listen,
you don't have to
well, wait. Let me finish." I said, I already told you that I filed a complaint against the sheriff's department and the county lawyer with the attorney general. He says, oh, well, that doesn't matter to me. So I said, well, it should matter to you. Mm-hmm. I said, and then when I looked at my policy, which I was falling asleep reading, nowhere in there for vandalism is a sheriff's report required. Only for theft.
Oh, it's not that. They just make that stuff up.
They only specifically said if something is stolen, we need a copy of the incident report for theft, but not for vandalism.
Exactly.
So they lied.
I know.
They absolutely lied.
They'll do it. Anything else, Lorraine? We got to.
No, that's it. Thank you so much. And if anybody has any questions or comments, leave them down below on your video, and I'll look forward to
she watches those comments, folks, and please leave those comments and go to Lorraine's channel, Alternative Homesteading.
Yes.
We'll have that link in there. And Lorraine, let's get back on here soon. Next week, whenever you want to do it, you reach out and let me know.
Thank you.
Remember, folks, we need your support. Subscribe, share.
Yes.
And that little bell button there, as you see on the bottom there, if you click that, you'll get notifications when we put up something new. You'll be notified. You won't have to stumble across it. All right, folks, I appreciate you. Until next time.
Thank you.